Welcome to 5 after midnight. Enter if you dare. One.
I was visiting my parents, who live in a very quiet housing complex. My father and I were taking a walk, and it was dead quiet out. No people, barking dogs, or traffic. We reach an intersection, and I hear a weird noise like a frog or a very low growl. I stop and look, and the noise is coming from the middle of an empty intersection. I hear it a second time, much louder, and it's clearly the sound of a wolf or a big dog growling menacingly at us. My father heard it too, and we couldn't figure out where the sound was coming from. There were no bushes for a dog to hide in, just an empty road. We waited, and it didn't happen again, but the growl was menacing and evil sounding. We finished our walk, and when we got home, we found a dead deer lying up against the front of the house under the window.
Two.
When I was a teenager, I found a dog wandering the streets, but it had its dog tags with a phone number on it. It was healthy and very friendly, so I knew that this was somebody's dog. I took it home and tried calling the phone number, but I didn't get an answer. This was in the 80s, so this happened more often than not. My mom and I locked the dog in my brother's room for the night, as he was out of town for the weekend. And although it was very friendly, it was a pit bull, and we had cats and a small dog of our own. When I got up the next morning with the intention to start a new round of phone calls, the dog was missing from my brother's room. It was a locked room. My mom was as surprised as I was that the dog was gone, and to this day she says she didn't let the dog out, and my brother didn't come home until later that same day. The dog was just gone. It's the single strangest thing that's ever happened to me.
Three.
One night I was at my girlfriend's house and we were watching a movie. Then, out of completely nowhere, I had the most intense feeling of depression. All I did was cry my eyes out for absolutely no reason. I had no idea why it felt as though my world was crumbling down. The only other thought going through my head was that I needed to get home and see my dog Bailey. I had tried to explain to my girlfriend that I had to go home right now and see my dog, but it was so hard because of how hard I was crying. She escorted me back to my car and I drove back home, still crying uncontrollably. I found Bailey curled up sleeping in his dog bed. He was a German Shepherd. I fell to my knees, still crying, and laid down next to him. Bailey gave me kisses and was trying to obviously comfort me. The next day, my mom drove me back to school. I was a college student at the time. A few days went by, and I could not stop thinking about what happened a few nights ago. My girlfriend was constantly checking in on me, and I kept telling her that I was fine. That same day, I got a call from my sister, and she told me that Bailey had died. After a brief chat with her, I just put on some music and mourned the loss of one of my best friends. To this day, I have no idea why those rush of emotions came over me, and why they were that strong in regards to my dog. I truly felt superhuman that whole week and was scared that this sort of incident would happen more often, but it hasn't happened since.
Four.
Two Huskies walked into my apartment last night while we were sitting with the doors open. One had my name on its collar, and the other had my roommate's name. We called the number on the caller, and the owners came and got the dogs and didn't say anything to us, not even a thank you. They just grabbed the dogs and left. Very strange.
Five.
My friend has this Chihuahua that is always very happy to see people, that barks and jumps up and down. It was the usual for him, and he didn't even acknowledge his dog as he went to go lie down on his bed, and he got on his phone. No one was home. His sister, mom, dad were all out. He told me that he was just lying there. He heard, "Hey, Danny," his name being called out, and his dog sitting down looking hard at him. He just got up and ran out of the house, not believing what he'd heard. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the show. If you have a story to share, send us an email, like us on Facebook, share, like, and subscribe.